Greetings from the San Antonio Riverwalk, and you can see over my shoulder back there, you can see a statue of the city's namesake, St. Anthony of Padua. Just a couple of thoughts. After yesterday, we returned from McAllen, close to the border here, to San Antonio, about 4 hours north. Drove through a checkpoint that was located about 50 miles north of the border, so that was new information to me. Border security is not just right on the border, but it is within the interior of the country as well. So just something else I observed. We spent some time yesterday with a Mennonite pastor who did a wonderful job bringing us back to ways that we as people of faith can frame these conversations and talk about them. A couple of high points from that conversation were, first, using the language of the Psalms. Maybe one of the things we need to bring back with us as pastors from this trip is an invitation to lament. The Psalms are filled with lament, and maybe that lament is that no one we spoke to, people all across the political spectrum, people in all different life situations, no one said everything is working great down here at the border. So maybe there is a lament to be offered by us as people of faith for a situation that is so deeply broken, and in that brokenness is affecting so many people's lives. Another aspect that bubbled up for me is so much of what we talked about was the what. What do we need to do? What should it look like? But we were reminded that, like so many other things, we need to start with the why. Why is the border here? And you can approach that question from many different angles. What is the purpose of the border? What are the reasons that the border is in this particular place? But if we can start with why something is, that usually offers greater clarity on the how and the what. There is a TED Talk called The Golden Circle that deals with that in great detail if you want to look that up. So thinking about the why, for us as people of God, the why should have something to do with the kingdom of God. What do the borders look like for God's kingdom? How do those borders work? And maybe that is a place that we can enter the conversation well informed as God's people. Also from the Psalms, our friend from the Mennonite church told us when you get to Psalms 149 and 150, the last two Psalms, there is a refrain: God's borders are shalom. God's borders are peace. God's borders are wholeness. Or to think about it another way, within those boundaries, God's will is done. So how do we discern God's will in this case? How do we see that God's will is done in the lives and work of everybody who interacts with this border? And so those are just some thoughts I wanted to leave you with here from San Antonio. Certainly hope that hearing some input from me while I'm on the trip has been helpful to you, and look forward to sharing things in more detail when we get home. God's blessings.